everybody? Welcome to the FutureDDS Dental School Experience Series, where we help you decide which dental school is right for you. Now, every school is unique and will provide you with a different experience. And we thought, who better to explain to you what a school has to offer than a student who actually goes there? Our goal in this series is to give you a firsthand perspective of every dental program in America and ultimately help you make the right decision. So, today we'll be showcasing Raven Reese, who is a D1 at University of Tennessee Health Science Center School of Dentistry. How are you doing today, Raven?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time out today. I know you're at the end of your D1 year, so I'm sure you got a lot of things to do. So we really do appreciate you taking the time out.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm glad to be a part.
No problem, no problem. So let's go ahead and get started. Raven, can you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, where you went to undergrad, and what kind of got you interested in dentistry?
Georgia. I'm from Douglasville, Georgia. Uh, I went to Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi for undergrad. Um, I didn't go straight into dental school. I actually was working as a lab tech for a little while in Georgia before I finally came to dental school. And I don't. The crazy thing is, like, I always was like, I don't think I want to do dentistry. I thought it was boring. I wasn't really. It was like whatever. But I got an opportunity to shadow with my mom
Mhm.
when I graduated high school this summer, and it was great. I loved it. I really did. And after that, I didn't see myself doing anything else. Like ever since then, like it was just so much to learn, and it was, the thing about dentistry. There's like a big variety in it. Like everyone's different. Everyone's teeth are like come in with a different problem, get a different solution. Like I really enjoyed it. It was so interesting, and I've been hooked ever since.
And so, quick question: do you think that you being a lab tech, do you think that's proven beneficial to you while you've been in dental school?
Um, in a sense, yes. Just because of like um the when I worked as a lab tech personally, like it was a very like kind of friendly but competitive type of environment,
Mhm.
which is kind of what dental school is like. We're all family, but it can be really competitive at the same time. And you really
Definitely.
kind of have to stay on, whatever it is you're doing and be well at it. And it was like that at work. And that was my first time kind of experiencing that type of environment.
Mhm.
Because everybody wants to, get promoted or whatnot. Middle school, people might want to specialize and stuff. So, even though we're family, we're all working together in school together, there was still like that level of competition that kind of kept things interesting. So,
Right.
when I got to dental school, it kind of related and I could understand that. And I think it helped me in that way.
Okay, great, great. All right,
Yeah.
so now that was good. So now can you tell us about your school? So like we know it's in Tennessee, but like what city is it in?
Oh, we're in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Like
like
what's
a
Memphis
city.
like? Yeah.
Memphis, I personally I like Memphis. Like Memphis is like a city of soul. It has a lot of history in it. The Civil Rights Museum, like where Martin Luther King was shot, the Lorraine Hotel, is like right in the middle of the city, like really close to the school. Like the barbecue, like the music, Elvis Presley. You got all this like really cool stuff downtown, like arts, museums, and just I love it. I personally love it. It's kind of like country,
Hmm.
but there's also like a bit of city life
Hmm.
that kind of meshes together, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but I love Memphis.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
so I know that me and you had talked earlier before the interview about, your school being in like a health center or health science
Yes.
center.
Hmm.
And so I kind of wanted to ask you like your class size. Is it like do you all kind of mesh with the medical school students or like how
Uh,
does
we
that work?
we don't really get a chance to interact with them
Mhm.
that much. We're required to be in school, like on campus, like at class. Like I know the med students, they're not really required to be on campus, so we don't see them as much. I
Okay.
wish we did, but there's in each class there's 100 people.
Okay.
So
The
relatively
average
one of the
size.
large. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I consider it larger, but when I talk to different people, I'm learning that the other dental school classes are getting larger too than what
Yeah.
they were like years ago. So I guess it is pretty average size.
Okay, great, great. And so,
Yeah.
can you now tell us some of the main factors that made you decide on going to Tennessee? You know, like was it the faculty? You know, was it the chance of specializing? Like, what were some of the main factors that made you decide on your dental school?
I honestly like really liked the very traditional feel of UT. I
Mm,
don't know why I've really liked that traditional feel, like almost like kind of old school,
mhm.
still keeping up with the new stuff, but like just traditional. I'm a traditional person, so like I was really attracted to that. And the interviewers, they were so nice. They told us in the interview like, take your shoes off. You want to take your shoes off, you can take your shoes off. Like sit back, relax. Like, we like you on paper. We just want to, get a feel for you as a person. And I really enjoyed that. I felt really relaxed. I felt really comfortable. Um, the people were nice. The people were nice in Memphis. I'm a Southern girl, so I mean, eh, just being there in the South, like I felt comfortable and I felt at home. And UT, I felt like I felt like the the faculty, my AirPods.
You're
I
fine.
felt like the faculty was really like involved with the students, and they spoke really highly of them. Um, and I appreciated that. It felt like a family, honestly. So I really, I was all about that.
Right, no, definitely. That's definitely important when you're considering
Hmm.
dental schools.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so you had mentioned the interview. You know, a lot of
Hmm.
our viewers, you know, they're really anxious about the interview process. Can you kind of walk us through your whole interview, just whole interview day? Can you kind of walk us through
Yes,
that?
sure. My interview was kind of crazy because leading up to the night before, as I was driving to Memphis, my car broke down in the middle of nowhere.
What?
Yeah, I mean, in the middle of Alabama, in the dark, and in nowhere. So I was really rushing to get there and be there like on time the day of. So I was super stressed on top of the stress that you already have of being there because you're just like, oh my
Right.
God, But we came into the room, and there were about I want to say like 18 of us,
Hmm.
just in one room. And they actually separated us off into groups.
Hmm.
So like they took some of us on a tour, and they stayed in the room and talked to some of us just about dental school and what it's like. And then they sectioned us off. Like they would call you one by one to go meet with two interviewers. And I know it's nerve wracking, because it's a big deal for people. When you really want something, it's always scary because you're like, oh, I really want this. The thought of not getting it is scary, and
Yeah.
it kind of feels like out of your control a little bit. But honestly, like, it was really relaxing because they just wanted to get to know us as a person. And I mean, when you think about it, for anyone, when they're interviewing you, if they call you to the interview, they already like you on paper. They've already looked at your grades, they've seen your scores, and they want to meet you and get a feel for you as a person. So, I just tried to relax and be myself, you know, be genuine, but also, make sure I was formal. And they didn't, really even ask me too much about like my grades and stuff. They really just asked me about myself, like, what have you been doing these past couple of years? Like, they asked me about my job and what it was. I talked about my job, about my family. It was very like relaxed. It
Hmm.
was very relaxed. And then they fed us some real good food. It was great. We had some spinach and shrimp. I'll never forget that. 'Cause I like food, but it was very relaxed. And they let us know like when they would call us and stuff like that. It was not what I expected, honestly. Like I expected it to be a little more rigid, but I was very relaxed. It was like talking to family members. Honestly, they were really nice to us. And anybody who's out there stressing over an interview, my best advice to give you is to just relax and be yourself. Like, people can always tell when you're being real with them.
Definitely.
Just be genuine, be honest. You really want it, and I'm sure they know that. So I mean, yeah, just that's the best advice I can tell. Like,
Definitely. No, I completely
yeah.
agree. I completely agree. And so you interviewed, and obviously you got in. You're here, you're there now. So,
Oh my gosh, yes.
how was that transition? How was that like the first couple of weeks? Did they kind of give you all like an orientation week, or did they kind of just like throw you all into classes?
uh it was very chill at first.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, it was a lot of events. Like we was
Mm-hmm.
chilling, having a good time. Like, oh, you know, party here, party there. Little, little this, little that, and then it just boom. Like it just they eased us in, and then boom, like it all kind of came on. It was. I hadn't been in school for a couple of years, and even still, dental school is not like undergrad. The workload is completely different. So it really took me a while to like adjust to that, and I had to find my footing with, studying, balancing social life and, you know, schoolwork, lab work. It was a lot, and it was really stressful, but you find your footing, after a while, like, it's like, okay, I can do this, or I need this amount of time to do that, you know, and it was all right. It's still a lot. You still have to, I have to keep on it all the time,
Yeah.
but I learned how to do it,
Right.
trial and error.
Right. No, definitely. Definitely. And that would not stop. My entire
Yeah.
second year, that's all it was. And so I'm sure it was
Yeah.
the same with you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're scaring me.
Oh, no, no, no. I mean, but at least at our school, I don't know about your school, but the second year is the hardest year. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know. Like, the second year like rumored to be the hardest for y'all, or?
It was kind of like the first the second semester of D1 year and the first semester of D2 year.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be like the hardest
Okay.
like year, because gross anatomy and stuff, like we just got out of that, and then I guess transitioning into the second year, from what I hear, we're gonna have like a lot of lab classes and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Start
So
doing like fixed, endo, all that.
oh yeah, all that stuff, the
Yeah,
fun stuff.
it's the fun stuff. It's the fun stuff. And then like the clinic, But okay, great,
Yeah.
great, great. And so you're completing your first year now.
Mhm.
If you can you kind of walk us through a day in the life of a D1 at Tennessee? That was
Okay,
good.
flying out the door at like 7:50, trying to get to class, starting at 8. Um, and we start with something simple, usually like a conference class where we basically talk about like a lot of clinical cases and stuff for like maybe 2 hours, and then we usually might jump into something more difficult like physiology. Uh, Most of the classes are 2 hours. Most of our classes are 2 hours. After lunch is every day from 12 to 1 for
Mhm.
everybody all over the school. We usually have a lab class, um, and it might be gross anatomy, it might be operative, or it might be, you know, neuroanatomy. Like it just depends. But um, typically we don't have one class more than 3 times a week, um, or at least once a week. Um, so it's 8 to 5 pretty much every day.
Mhm.
You spend a lot of time outside of class in the
Mhm.
lab, you know, drilling your preps, waxing up teeth, and doing dentures, the works. But I mean, yeah, you pretty it's 8 to 5. It's 8 to 5 pretty much every day. Sometimes we have breaks. They give us study time,
Mhm.
more like in between classes some days, and some Fridays, like they'll give us some time to study, like if we have a test coming up. Um, but yeah, the classrooms are really big, and big projector. Everyone pretty much sits in the same unassigned assigned seat every day. You have your iPad out. A lot of people like to listen instead of taking notes during class. I
Mhm.
know me, I do most of my learning outside of class.
Yep.
So during class, like I'd rather listen, then go back later, listen to the recording, because we record all of our lectures.
Mhm.
And then I can go back and learn what I needed to learn. So yeah, that's pretty
Right.
much it. Come home, crash, and do it all over
All over
again.
again, every single day. No, I feel,
Yes,
I
every
feel,
day.
it goes by fast though. It does go by fast.
Yes, it goes by so fast
It
because you're
does.
always doing something, you know.
Exactly.
You're never just chill. There's never a time where I was like, I don't have anything to do. That
Yeah. Oh
hasn't
no. Oh
existed.
no.
Like since I stepped on campus, there's never been a time where there was, oh, there's nothing to do. There's
Right.
always something to do.
Always. Always.
Always, for sure.
Great. Great. So so basically, now I want to ask you. Say somebody is interested in applying to your school.
Hmm.
What's something that you would tell them to make sure that they had on their application? You know, like whether it be like community service or a bunch of shadowing hours. Like, what's one thing that you think that Tennessee really likes to see in their applicants?
I think for Tennessee, they really, really do like to see shadowing hours
Mhm.
for sure. That's a big thing. Just to know that you've gotten out in the field and experienced a little bit. Another thing that I think looks good on your application, some type of like some type of like class or something you might have done with your hands, like,
Mhm.
if you've done pottery or like any type of carving class, anything that looks really good to them. And also, it'll help you a lot as a
Mhm.
student because we work with our hands, a lot. And sometimes, it can be difficult. It might be your first time picking up. I had never picked up like or waxed anything. So I
Mhm.
was like, this is crazy. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
But if you've done something like that before, it looks really good because it shows that you have that experience like with your hands, and it's really, really, really helpful in lab. And I think also like community service and research is kind of
Mhm.
a big thing too. I think they like to see, people giving back, students, more specifically giving back um, to the community and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I'd say those three things are really big for them, for UT.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you seem like a very mellow-headed person. As
I
me
hope
and you
so.
both know, dental school can be hectic and it can be extremely stressful. And something that is a hot topic amongst all dental schools right now is mental health. So I
Hmm.
kind of wanted to ask you, like, how do you make sure that you maintain your mental health and your mental sanity throughout this entire process that is dental school?
Honestly, one of the first things that I would say is like, I know a lot of people like to, like if there's like a test or something and it's really stressful, you have a lot to do. A lot of people want to like stay up,
Mhm.
sleep, like seriously, get your rest. Like it's it's so important, like because our body literally physically needs to rest. It can be really tempting to want to stay up, all night or only get a couple hours of sleep, so that you can just push this last bit of information in your head or whatnot. But in reality, like it's just not worth like the mental stress and the physical stress that it's going to have on your body later. Um, so one thing that I've started working on is making sure I get enough rest because I promise you're going to perform better if
Yeah.
you get the rest that you need. Like, um, it's so important. And for me also, like I like to read. So if I ever get a chance to like, just take a break, like I'll pull out one of my favorite books and
What's
read
your
a
favorite
little
book?
and it helps. My favorite book, I really right now I'm reading Jane Eyre.
Mhm.
I'm a really big like I'm a big Jane Austen fan.
Okay.
So my favorite book of all time is Pride and Prejudice, but right now I'm reading Jane Eyre and it's really good.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I just want whenever I hear somebody like to read, I always like to ask them if they're.
Yeah.
I'm
Do
sorry.
you read too? You like to
Uh,
read?
yeah, so I've started to pick up the habit. Just trying to add it into like
Oh,
my daily habits of like, reading at least 15 minutes a day,
yeah, for sure.
slowly
Reading,
getting into it.
I love that. Reading is like, for me, it just kind of takes me away from wherever I am. Like, the thing about books is like, books, you create the world in your mind.
Hmm.
So it's a very mental getaway for me, especially with the stress of dental school. I
Hmm.
can read a book and I'm gonna forget I'm in dental school, for those 20 minutes.
Right.
And it's really helpful because sometimes you just need a break. We're not robots, we need a
Yeah.
break. It's a lot in dental school. And it's important that you get the time that you need to kind of step away and take a breather. no matter what it is. It might be riding a bike for some people, it might be going out to eat or going to the movies, or going home for a weekend or something. But take your breaks when you have them. Take a break.
That's
It's not
awesome.
going anywhere. The work will be here.
Oh, it will be.
It'll be here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I actually haven't heard that in all of this all of our interview series. Nobody said that
Yeah,
they read in order to,
oh yeah,
relax. So
I
that's pretty
love to
cool.
read.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I kind of want to ask you about clinic. Now I know you're still first year, but like when do y'all enter clinic, and are you all told to do like assists now, or will that all kind of come around like second, third year?
Yeah, so we actually started going to the clinic a couple weeks ago. So they
Okay.
have us going at the end of our first year. And then they'll have us go again at the end of our second year before we actually start seeing the patients
Right.
in our third year. So we've been going now and assisting, and it's been really helpful. It's been great to see what we're going to be doing. I love being in the clinic. Like, honestly, like I hate being in the lab. Like the lab is just like it drains me. But being in clinic is a totally different feeling. I
Yeah.
love being in clinic. It's fun to see, what we're gonna be doing. It makes you feel like you're really making a difference,
Right.
even though I'm just suctioning, I'm not doing anything,
Right.
but
Right.
it feels good. Like, it's inspiring. The patients are great. I love the patients. They're all wonderful. Um, so yeah, it's exciting.
Good. And
It's
so
exciting.
I was wanted to ask you, do you have any
Mhm.
like unique situations that you've been in where you really, after the situation, you kind of reflected and you said, you know what, this is why I'm glad that I came to UT?
Oh, do I? Honestly, I don't know. For that, I would just say like the camaraderie. Like it's really like the people that I've met. I mean, we're literally like family. Like they're so important to me. Like they're so important to my dental school journey, and I can't even imagine at this point going through dental school without them.
Mm-hmm.
When you start, it's almost like a fraternity or sorority when they put you in dental school and you start going through all these crazy things together. You have to get close, to some people, and that's how it's been. Like the people that I've gotten close and knitted up with. Like there have been times where I'm like, I don't know what I would do without y'all.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do this without y'all. Like I'm glad I came here just because, I met you guys.
Right.
Like, I really feel like I was placed here, for a reason. And it feels right. My people, honestly, like I couldn't do it without them. Like that's when you say that, that's what I think of. Like if I didn't come to UT, I wouldn't know them. And they're great, they really are. Like you need people in dental school. It's not one of those things you can just do like by yourself with no help. And everyone always said that beforehand. It's really true. Like you're gonna need people in your corner. We're all gonna need help with something at some point. It's not a one man show. So you don't get me emotional.
No, no, I think that's very comforting that,
Yeah.
you obviously are emotional about your friends, because I think a lot of people worry about that. I
Yeah.
think they hear the gunner stories, they hear, that, dental school is just
Yeah.
such a cutthroat situation and I might not make friends, but like obviously
Right.
you're showing them that, you have made
Mhm.
lifelong friends
Yeah.
and,
You make
they
me
definitely
blue.
positive impact on your dental school success. So that's
So
awesome.
true.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I guess we're at the end of our interview now, Raven. I
Oh
want to
really?
ask you for any last words of advice for our viewers who might not even be necessarily interested in UT, but they are applying. Like, what are those golden pieces of advice that you would give them?
Honestly, if you're applying, one of the biggest things that I can tell you, and something that I didn't do, was don't procrastinate. It's so easy. It is so easy to procrastinate, especially like you know, when you're going through the process and there's so much to do. Because I know the application process, you got to take the test, you got to get the letters of recommendation, you got to get the shadowing hours. It's a lot, but don't procrastinate. Get it done. Get it done as quick and as soon as possible. Get your stuff in, because really, the later you wait, the more that the more competitive it can be,
Definitely.
you know. And I would just say go ahead and get it done. Like, and once you get done and you get through all that stuff, it's such a comforting feeling. It's so, you know, a feeling of relief. And honestly, that's the best advice I can give, because I didn't wait, and that's why I didn't get in right away, because I would wait till the last minute, you know. But when you do it like quick, it really helps your chances, you know, of getting in. Um, because I mean, you can do it. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can get in. If I can get in, anybody can get in. Like, I promise you can do it. You know, you just gotta put the time in and go ahead and get it done like as efficiently as possible. Like, that's the best advice I can give anybody when it comes to like applying.
No, definitely. No, get it in
Yes,
early. Like, listen to Raven,
yes,
y'all. Get your application in early, because having that
yes.
burden off of you is an amazing feeling.
It really is. It really is.
No, definitely. Thank you so much, Raven.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure that somebody's going to want to reach out to you and ask you some more questions. What's the best way
Yeah.
that they can get in contact with you?
I mean, y'all can text me or email me or Instagram me, like anything.
What's your Instagram name?
My Instagram is Raven Reese Cup with
Okay.
two P's at the end. So RavenReeseCupp. Raven Reese Cup.
Okay, and what is your email?
My email is gonna be RREESE9, the number 9, at uthsc.edu.
Okay, great. And of course, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely put this in the
Yes,
description
for
box.
sure.
So you all can definitely message Raven, because obviously
Yes,
she's here to help you all. But
yes.
Raven, on behalf of Future DDS and all of our subscribers, we want to say thank you once again.
Oh,
You have been amazing today. And we really do
thank you.
appreciate you taking out the time. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Definitely, definitely. Everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on this video. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell so that you know whenever we post new content. But until next time, see y'all later.
Yay.